we tend to think we know our body very well and we have a total control on our own body. Yeah, of course, most of the daily activities which doesn't require the precision movement, in that sense, we can control our body well enough to execute all these tasks in a daily life. But playing instrument requires such a accurate, precise movement, and we need to kind of learn how to use our body in a more refined way. And often the body image we have, the image of our own body is like this, like see, it's kind of very rough. You have like a neck and one joint on the shoulder, and we can move a hip. So yeah, this is pretty good. I mean, you can make interesting posture with all these joints. But this is not, this kind of picture of your own body is not enough to be able to do such a refined movement required for playing harp. So I want to change our view of our own body from this to a little more precise one. I would like to start with the most important part of our body, the backbone. Important thing I want to point out here is backbone is not just one piece of wood like this. So backbone is it consists in 24 vertebra, which is like a disc like this. This is, by the way, this is my sake cups. Yeah, so looking at this make me thirsty, but anyway, this is sake cup, right? It's like look like disc, and then if we consider this as a vertebra, and another one is just like same like this, actually come on top of each other. So it's like stuck up like this, and then 24 of these, like 7 for the neck, 12 for the chest, which has the ribs, and another 5 on the lower body. See here, this is the neck part, and this is the chest part, and this is the lower back part. So, and they stack up like this. So it means backbone is not stiff piece of stick. It's more like the stack up sake cup, and then you can move them individually, turning like this, or see, moving like this. So in a way, you can make various different shapes with your backbone. So understanding this is very helpful later to learn how to sit properly. So just remember that backbone is a stack up sake cup vertebra. This kind of called pelvis. It's a hip bone, right? This is big. You can touch your hip bone if you touch around your waist, and this is like in a way, it's like a bucket holding your internal organs and connected to the backbone. So this is a little more detailed picture of that, and so this is the front view, and this pelvis actually connected to your thigh, to this socket. But interesting thing is this socket is not on the bottom, it's on the side. So if you take a look from the side, actually the socket to the thigh bone is way up here. It's not down here. So it means when we sit, so this thigh bone actually move like this way. So we are sitting on top of our pelvis. So to know this structure is very helpful to understand the way to sit properly. So please remember the pelvis looks like this, and then the joint to the thigh bone actually happens not on the bottom but on the side. So then I would like to talk about upper body now, which include shoulder blade here and collarbone. So this is a back view, so it's kind of a little hard to see. So I prepared a bigger version of it. And this is the front view, and this side actually they cut off the rib to be able to see the shape of shoulder blade in the back here. So, and shoulder blade is not attached to the rib actually at all. This is kind of floating. And then where the shoulder blade attached to the main part of the body is actually through the collarbone here, and then attached to this flat bone. It's located in front of your body. It's called chest bone or sternum. So arm, basically, and the arm is connected to the shoulder blade here. So arm is not directly connected to the main part of the body. So often we think this way, right? Body, arm is connected to the main part of the body, and then shoulder, there's a one joint in the shoulder, and you can rotate like this. So, but this is not really the real picture of a human body. And actually, the connection is just right here. See, this collarbone connect to the sternum here. This is a joint, and then another joint is collarbone to the upper arm bone. And this one, these two joints moved separately. So remember, the only connection to the main part of the body is here through the collarbone, and the collarbone connected to the shoulder blade, and the shoulder blade connected to the upper part of the body, upper part of the arm. Then finally, getting close to the part directly involved in harp playing, which is the hand and forearm. We tend to think like there is only one bone and a forearm, but actually we have two bones in a forearm. And this makes it possible to turn the forearm separately from the upper arm. What happened is, so let's see, if consider this is those two bones, right? My side is elbow, right? And if one of the bone move like this, actually you can change the direction of the hand, turn like this. And also, it's nice to know how many joints we have in hand. So we have of course, wrist joint here. And this joint that doesn't move too much, but move a little bit. And this one is a joint, this joint, palm, and then another 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and for thumb, actually, you have one less joint. So we're gonna go through this later with my real hand, but it's nice to know the bone structure, because the body cannot move out of the range of the bone can move. So it's nice to start from the skeleton structure when we're thinking about movement. So I took off my shirts not because it's warm here. It's kind of cold. It's the middle of winter, but I thought it's helpful for you to see the real human body and kind of see their bones and the movement and muscle. First, let's check your sternum. It's very easy to touch. I mean, if you touch your center of your chest, you definitely can feel the hard flat bone here. So this is a sternum. It's a chest bone, and then going up all the way, and you start touching the very soft part. Anyway, this is important vital point. It doesn't do anything about harp playing, but anyway. So, and then from here you go this way, and you can feel the collarbone right all the way up here. So this is the collarbone. And then between the sternum and the collarbone, you have a joint. So if you put your hand down, relax, and then try to rotate your shoulder like this, you can feel your collarbone moves. And it's very clear that you have a joint here. And it moves like, if this is the sternum here, it moves like this. Like 360 degrees, like in the same way, right? So it's like this. Okay, so and if you continue the collarbone, you start touching the different bone, and then going, especially if you go back, you feel another strong kind of pokey stuff going there. So this is a part of the shoulder blade. So collarbone goes to the shoulder blade, and then shoulder blade is actually the bone moving around when you do this movement. So that's why whole shoulder is moving, because at the end of the collarbone you have a shoulder blade, so it's moving like this. And then between shoulder blade and upper arm bone, you have another joint, which we consider this as a shoulder joint usually. But now you know the shoulder actually started from here, because if you move your collarbone, shoulder moves quite a bit already. See? So now try to keep your collarbone in one place, right? Try not to move the collarbone, and then try to move your arm, upper arm, whatever. You can relax like this, or you can just relax the forearm. And then you try to move arm. And actually, this joint doesn't have so much range of motion. Maybe you noticed that. I mean, it doesn't go high up so much, right? Up to here, and you cannot go back so much. It's only up to like this. Oh, I dropped my sake cups. Anyway, so, and then, so the collarbone has such a dynamic range of motion, and this part doesn't have the big range of motion. See? So this is kind of important, because when you play harp, often, a lot of you probably put your harp on your collarbone, like a feeling weight of your instrument, collarbone. So it means you locked up your collarbone So it means your range of upper arm motion, range of motion of your upper arm is very, very limited. And it is important to free your collarbone, and then you can have much more range of motion. If you lock it up like this, you move like this much. But if you free your collarbone like this, so it's not a good idea to put so much weight on your collarbone, or even I try not to touch the harp with my collarbone, because if you touch something, automatically you start locking up your part of that body. So that's why I'm kind of explaining about the structure of the bone, because this actual knowledge actually really helps to hold the instrument most efficient way. So anyway, the collarbone, you verified the range of motion of the upper arm bone now. Okay, so next let's go for the forearm. So let's try not to move this joint. So it means you lock up your elbow somewhere, like by the body or something like this, and then try to move your forearm. So you can bend this way, like about 90 degrees, right? Stretch, oh, not 90, 180 degrees. Go close up all the way. And also you can turn maybe about close to like 180 degrees, but you can flip your hand like this, but less than 180 degrees. So you have this movement here, the forearm, or this, or this. Okay, so this is very dynamic here. Finally, we reach hand. So okay, so let's fix your wrist like this and try not to move your wrist. I'm sorry, try not to move your forearm, and then kind of evaluate how we can move our wrist. So wrist can move like up, down, and sideways. So it means kind of rotate. It can rotate like this. But of course, this way has a much more mobility than this way, right? So when you're playing a harp, actually, often if you try to adjust your hand angle with this type of movement, it's possible, but this doesn't have like a large range of motion like this way. So if you keep this, giving so much tension, like a bending sideways or this way, try to make the unnatural shape that the shape you have you can gain when you relax. It actually tense up the muscle so much, and then also it jam the joint, so it start causing lots of pain or injury, inflammation here. So this knowledge gives us the wisdom that it's okay to adjust your hand position with this, but if you use this joint too much, it will start hurting. So instead of adjusting your position, by using this, actually you can raise your entire shoulder, which is much better because it's connected to the bigger part of the body, and also far from the hand. It means to move this end a lot, you need to move a little bit of here, right? So it's not a big deal to move a little bit of shoulder, but actually the result, we can move a lot on the end of the arm. So it's more efficient to use the bigger muscle or the part closer to the body. And actually, we can move our palm like this way, right? Also, kind of closing up these bones, getting too close to each other. And the thumb has such a dynamic range of moving, like going this way. So that's why we are encouraged to put a thumb up and then pluck like this. And here is the joint knuckle here, right? But if you look inside of your palm, actually joint, this knuckle joint is in the middle of the palm. So it's important when you play, and when you're plucking, actually, you are told to use this joint, not like this, but more like this. So this is more like closing your palm, the deep side of your palm. So if you put the awareness on the middle of your palm, and then try to close there instead of like try to bend the finger, actually, that type of awareness is very good for playing harp. So joint is here, not here. This is not joint. Looks like there's a joint here, but there's no joint here. Joint is actually here. See, a little bit below this line. Okay, and then of course you have another one, knuckle. So, see? So we have such a fine machine to be able to pluck the harp strings. So in a way, we cannot control every single joint and every single muscle perfectly, but we are given the very useful tool to be able to do that, which is the sensation. So we talked about the sensation earlier in a whole picture of the interworking of mind and body. If you feel discomfort or pain or something like that, the body is telling you, oh, you are not using me properly. You are abusing me. So the body is screaming, like, oh, please don't do that. So, but if you're comfortable and you feel ease, it means we are using the body in a natural way. So that's why sensation is very important.